What do a high-end luxury engagement ring, a massive industrial drill bit, and a completely worthless pile of shiny rocks sitting deep in a South African mine have in common? They are all part of a multi-billion-dollar psychological trap that tricked humanity into buying an illusion. Every year, millions of people willingly spend 3 months of their hard-earned salary on a tiny, sparkling stone. We are told it's a rare, precious symbol of eternal love. But what if I told you diamonds aren't actually rare at all? In fact, there are enough diamonds on Earth to give a full bucket of them to every single person alive. So how did a single corporation successfully brainwash the entire planet into paying a 1000% markup for a common rock? To understand this, you have to realize that you aren't buying jewelry, you are buying a highly engineered marketing campaign. For most of human history, diamonds were genuinely hard to find, mostly discovered in a few rivers in India and Brazil. They were a luxury reserved strictly for royalty, but in the late 1860s, everything changed. Miners in South Africa discovered a massive, unprecedented underground pipeline of diamonds. Suddenly, they were pulling them out of the ground by the tractor load. The British investors who owned the mines panicked. They realized a basic law of economics. If the market is flooded with diamonds, their value will plummet to absolutely nothing. They would go completely bankrupt. So a man named Cecil Rhodes pulled off a ruthless corporate consolidation, buying up every single diamond mine in South Africa and merging them into one giant monopoly, De Beers. Once De Beers controlled the global supply, they did something incredibly sneaky. They strictly throttled production. They locked millions of perfect diamonds away in secret vaults to create a completely fake, artificial scarcity. By keeping the market starved, they kept prices artificially high. But controlling the supply was only half the battle. They still had to force the world to actually want them. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, diamond sales were dying. Young people stopped buying luxury goods. So De Beers hired N.W. Ayer, a legendary New York advertising agency, to execute one of the most aggressive psychological manipulations in history. Their mission? Convince every young American man that the size of the diamond he bought directly measured his masculinity and financial success. And convince every young woman that a man who didn't buy a diamond didn't truly love her. They sent representatives to high schools to give lectures to teenage girls about diamond romance. They gave free rings to Hollywood movie stars to wear on the red carpet. And then, in 1948, a copywriter named Francis Garrity coined the 4 most powerful words in advertising history. A diamond is forever. Think about the psychological genius of that slogan. It wasn't just a romantic line, it was a clever economic trick. If a diamond is forever, you can never sell it. De Beers desperately wanted to prevent a secondhand market from forming. If people started reselling their old engagement rings, the supply would flood again and the monopoly would break. By linking diamonds to eternal love, they made reselling your ring feel like a shameful act of divorce. The gap between a young couple staring at a sparkling ring in a glass display case at a mall and a corporate executive sitting in a secure boardroom in London manipulating global supply chains is a massive psychological chasm. One sees a magical token of romance. The other sees a highly controlled, carbon-based commodity designed to drain a bank account. Both are bound by the exact same marketing spell. So, the next time you see a jewelry commercial or look at a sparkling ring on someone's finger, take a second to look past the shine. You aren't looking at a rare geological miracle. You are looking at the ultimate victory of corporate psychology, a common rock that successfully convinced the world it was priceless.